Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. In this video, I'll be discussing the Bitcoin price. And for a change in this video, I'll be zooming out on the chart. I'll be looking at the big picture and where Bitcoin will be going in the long term. I'll be sharing my exact longer term price targets for Bitcoin in this video. So in my normal videos, I kind of tend to look at the short term price action. But at the moment, Bitcoin hasn't really done that much since the Elon Musk news and that big pump and dump that we had. So I thought let's just take the time to have a look at some macro analysis to see if we're still on track in this bull market to hit my long-term price targets. But yeah, if that sounds good to you, make sure to smash the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos, because these videos can give you a lot of valuable information that can help you make money in crypto. So it'd seriously mean a lot if you could just take 5 seconds to scroll down and hit like and subscribe. And yeah, I really appreciate all of your support. But with all that being said, let's get straight into what this video is about. So right here, as you can see, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart and we're actually on the 1 week chart. So just zooming out here, this is kind of showing what Bitcoin's done over its entire lifetime, which is pretty crazy. Obviously, I've got this on the log chart because if I take it off log, it goes crazy, as you can see here. But yeah, I'll put it back on log just so we can actually see what happened in the previous years in Bitcoin. And now what these vertical dotted lines that I have mapped out on the chart just here, these 3 lines, these are the 3 halvings that have occurred in Bitcoin. As you can see, after the first halving, the Bitcoin price went up massively, and then it topped out at the top of this channel, and then it entered a massive bear market for the next 1 to 2 years as it finally recovered out of that, and then into the second halving. And as soon as it hit the second halving, then the price shot up once again into a massive bull market, topped out at the top of this channel, and then came all the way back down for a pretty much 1 to 1.5 year bear market. And then, you know, it's been bouncing around for a little while until the halving. And then ever since this halving, it's been shooting up once again. And it isn't just a coincidence that this happens right around the halvings. The halvings play an incredibly important role for Bitcoin. There's going to be less and less Bitcoin being made every 4 years. And if demand just stays the same, which it obviously has been, then the fact that there's less Bitcoin to go around only means one thing: the price has to go up. And so where are we currently in this halving cycle after the halving? If this third halving cycle were to play out anything like the last 2, then we are currently around halfway up this cycle. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that the price is halfway to topping out, like we're gonna top out at 60K. I'm gonna reveal my exact longer term price targets just later in this video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But I'm talking just roughly where we are in terms of the distance away from the halving to the peak, and also the fact that we're currently around the middle of this price channel, as you can see here. But yeah, once again, it was incredibly important that we got that correction, because if you look at the RSI, we were extremely overbought on the weekly chart. And if you look even just in the 2017 bull run, anytime that we got into these extreme overbought areas, we would see a small correction. So then the RSI would come back down into more neutral areas, and then we'll have our next leg to the upside. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now. We've simply hit our first major spike in this bull run in the RSI. And as you can see, back in 2017, we had not just 1, but we had 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there was 6 times where the price ran up, had a correction throughout the entire 2017 bull run. So we could definitely still see a few more of these corrections still to come, but this correction is pretty much exactly played out as the last corrections played out in the last cycle. Now, by the way, if you're wondering what these 2 green vertical lines are just here, I simply put those there because they're kind of like the average distance in time away from the halving that the halving gains begin to kick in. I just kind of looked at the 2 previous cycles, and yeah, I saw when the halving gains kicked in here and when the halving gains kicked in here, and I kind of just mapped those out for this cycle, and as you can see, it's working out perfectly. But yeah, now let's discuss some price targets for this bull run. And well, I have 3 major ways that I'm looking at determining the price target for when this bull run could possibly top out. Now, obviously, this is speculation, and it's very difficult to guess the exact price that it's going to top out, and it's even more difficult to guess the exact time frame when it's going to top out. But just for this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is most likely to happen. And once again, this is just my opinion from doing my analysis on the charts. Obviously, there's so many different price targets out there for Bitcoin, so don't take mine too seriously, and always make sure you do your own research. But yeah, with that little disclaimer out of the way, taking just the average time from the halving to when we topped out in the first cycle, it was pretty much exactly 1 year from the halving to the top of the bull market. And in the second halving cycle, from the halving to the top of the bull market, it was about 530 days, which is basically 1.5 years. So going off that, let's just say that this halving cycle is likely to top out between 1 year to 1.5 years after the halving happens. Now, obviously the third halving happens right back here in May 2020, as I've got on the chart right now. And 1 year from then will obviously be May 2021. So I'll map that out in the chart right here. I'll just make it a different color so it's easier to see. And 530 days from this halving will put us around November 2021. I'll map that out on the chart right here. So once again, this is just going off previous cycles. This is going off the information that we've been given from the Bitcoin charts. And yeah, the long-term Bitcoin chart basically tells us that it's pretty likely that we will top out somewhere in this range here. So that just gives us a rough time frame when we could expect the price to top out. Now, having known that information, once again, this is just speculation, this isn't fact or anything, but just going from this information here, we can actually determine the rough price that Bitcoin will top out at. Now, the sooner Bitcoin tops out, the lower the price will be at the top. And if Bitcoin takes longer to top out, it will most likely be a higher price that it tops out at. So if anything, you want Bitcoin to actually take its time, because yeah, if it takes more like 2 years to top out, then chances are it's going to go a lot higher than if it tops out in the next 6 months. But yeah, if the price were to stay within this same channel as it's been in basically for its entire history, and if the price topped out in May 2021, which is the soonest it could probably top out, we would be looking at a price of approximately 110,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. That's my lower end target for the Bitcoin price at the top of the bull market, 110,000 US dollars. And if Bitcoin didn't top out towards the end of this year, towards this second line that I have here at November 2021, the Bitcoin price at the top of the channel right at that point in time is at around 140,000 US dollars. So just looking at price alone, we can determine a rough price target for Bitcoin between $110,000 to $140,000 towards the end of this year. Now, we shouldn't just look at that alone. I'll be looking at 2 other things, as I mentioned earlier, that can help us determine the long-term price target for Bitcoin. This is just one of the 3 ways that I have at determining the price target for Bitcoin in the long term. Now, the second strategy that I'm using to find out when exactly the Bitcoin price could top out is the stock to flow model. As you can see here on the chart, this is the stock to flow model. And if you know nothing about this model, I suggest doing a bit of research about the stock to flow model. But basically what it is it just takes the stock of Bitcoin, which is the current circulating supply, and it divides it by the flow, which is the new supply of Bitcoin coming onto the market that's been mined. So at all 3 halvings, the stock to flow model has had this drastic jump up in price. And within around 1 to 2 years after, the price has basically come up to where the stock to flow model is. Once again, this has been pretty accurate over the past decade for Bitcoin at predicting where the price will be going. So it's definitely something to take into account and something to look out for. Here we are in this current halving cycle, and where does the stock to flow model predict for us now? And well, as you can see, as soon as we had the halving, the stock to flow model jumped up in price all the way up to these price range up here. And this price range is currently sitting between 120,000 US dollars as the low end and about $220,000 as the high end. And yeah, if this halving was simply just to repeat what happened in the last 2 halvings, which is likely, then we'll top out at just above 200,000 US dollars. And now that isn't too far off my previous price target, which was once again between 110 and 140,000 US dollars. The stock to flow model suggests that we'll top out between 120,000 to 220,000 US dollars. And so far that's been incredibly accurate over the past 10-year history for Bitcoin. And finally, the third and final way that I'm using to determine when the Bitcoin price will be topping out for this bull cycle is right here on the chart. These 2 moving averages I've actually coded into my TradingView chart. You can't just search up these indicators on TradingView and just find them anywhere. So these are exclusive indicators for all of you that are subscribed to this channel. Like I'm telling you, there's incredibly valuable information in these videos, such as this exclusive indicator. And yeah, I'll be giving you updates on this indicator throughout this bull cycle, so make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of this important information. But yeah, right now I'll show you exactly how this indicator actually works when it comes to timing the top for Bitcoin. And well, just zooming out on the chart, this indicator has been incredibly accurate for predicting the top of the bull cycle for Bitcoin. Basically, how this indicator works is when the orange line crosses underneath the pink line, that symbolizes the top for Bitcoin. And now this is the first halving cycle for Bitcoin. This is back in 2012, early 2013. And as you can see, the exact moment where the orange line crossed under the pink line was right here on the chart, as you can see. And this is right now on the daily chart, by the way. I had to switch it to the daily chart for this indicator to work, just to let you guys know. And as you can see, this indicator predicted the top of the bull market for Bitcoin within the accuracy of just 3 days. Now going over to the next major top for the Bitcoin price, it was just here, as you can see. This was at the end of 2013, and this was kind of like the end of the first halving cycle, because the first halving cycle came in 2 waves, as you can see here. But yeah, this was like the top of the first halving cycle. And once again, these moving averages predicted the top pretty much perfectly. Right when the orange line crossed under the pink line, just here on the chart, I'll map it out. As you can see here, if you sold Bitcoin exactly when these 2 lines crossed, you would have pretty much sold the exact top of that bull market, which is just incredible. Like honestly, it's insane how accurate this indicator has been. And now this was just the first halving cycle. Let's see how this indicator did on the second halving cycle. So over here, we're in the famous 2017 bull run. Right here, this is the second halving that happened in 2016. And obviously this is the 2017 bull market top at 20,000. And zooming in at this top, you can see what this indicator showed us. If you sold exactly when the orange line crossed under the pink line, once again, you would have sold right here. I'll map it out on the chart. And I'm not even joking when I'm telling you guys this. This indicator literally predicted the exact top of the market to the exact day. Like seriously, if you sold just when these 2 lines crossed on the chart, you would have sold the exact day that the bull market topped out at 2017, which is honestly just crazy how accurate this indicator has been over the years at predicting the top for Bitcoin. Now going over to the present day, where does this indicator predict where Bitcoin will be topping out for this bull market cycle? And well, this indicator doesn't actually give us a future price targets like in a year from now sort of thing. That's not exactly how this indicator works. Over time, as Bitcoin shoots up in price as it has been, these 2 lines slowly and gradually get closer and closer together over time. And as I said earlier, I will continue to update you guys throughout the year on what this indicator is doing, because this indicator updates every single day. And yeah, once again, these 2 lines get closer and closer. We won't really know exactly when they will cross until maybe about a week before they cross. And as soon as that happens, I'll be sure to make a lot of videos on the channel about that. Don't you worry, I'll keep you all updated on exactly what will be happening. So yeah, once again, make sure you have notifications on so you do not miss this important information. So the lowest end prediction that I have for this Bitcoin bull market is at around 110,000 US dollars. I'm very certain that Bitcoin will break into the 6-figure range within about a year from now. And the highest end Bitcoin targets that I have for this bull cycle is at around 230,000 US dollars, which gives us this entire price range just here. And I know that is a pretty big price range, but it gives you a rough idea where Bitcoin can be heading. And yeah, once again, this is all speculation, so don't take this information too seriously. It's just always good to look at the bigger picture when it comes to Bitcoin and just sometimes zoom out on the chart to see where Bitcoin goes in the long term, because a lot of people get carried away in short-term fluctuations, and honestly, the big money in Bitcoin gets made over the big cycles that happen over many years. But yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then please make sure to leave a like on the video down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so if you could just spend a couple seconds out of your day to just click a like and subscribe, that will mean a lot to me. I seriously appreciate all of your support on the channel. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you kind of liked this type of video, the macro analysis, the longer term analysis. Because if you like this style of video, then I will be sure to include a macro analysis video once in a while on the channel. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I will continue to update you on this indicator throughout the year as this Bitcoin bull market continues to go to the upside. So make sure you have notifications set on all so you don't miss any of my videos. But yeah, with all that being said, I really hope you all enjoy this video and I'll see you all in the next video.